we must welcome the one and only founder and CEO of Tycoon Digital, the one and only Collin Slattery, hailing to us from New York City. I think he has truly one of the most interesting stories in e-commerce that to me just echoes the power and promise of the internet entrepreneurship, being diligent, up leveling skill and mastery, and going up into the right forever and ever. Everybody, welcome inside of the show, the one and only Collin Slattery. Get in here, Collin. Get in here.
What's up, guys?
Look at
How's
that
it
jacket.
going? I told you I was going to be aggressive today with the jacket, so here we go.
Collin, it speaks well of you. Speaks well of you as a former mayoral candidate, which I just learned is actually the case. I mean, can you? Okay, I would love to start this way, Collin. I'd love to start this way. I recently found from one of your tweets, brother, you have one of the most compelling stories in e-commerce that I have heard about your come up, finding your way on the interwebs, and now scaling your business up into the right, serving all of the darlings in our space and beyond. Man, could you Google Earth out a little bit and give us background on you and how you got here today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an unk. I think at this point, I'm 37, and I started.
Let's go, unk.
I remember the days like my first internet business was selling prescription drugs through like a Canadian pharmacy affiliate in like 2006. So wow. The rules were very different back then. But yeah, I mean, come from nothing. I mean, spent time being homeless as a teenager. Former professional poker player in the not like Vegas or anything, but in the underground card rooms in New York City. So,
wild.
Yeah, I've been robbed at gunpoint. It's been a journey.
That is crazy, man.
And ran for mayor at some point.
And ran for mayor all at the same time. That's
Collin,
wild, man.
That's unbelievable. I mean, professional poker player, how does a professional poker player look at Google ads differently than your typical marketer? I feel like that is a different skill set that you are bringing than anybody else in the world.
Yeah, I mean, and I think I was pretty early on, like it's very heavily math focused.
Yeah.
Poker's a math game. I mean, finance, right? Like math, and digital ads also very heavily math focused. So, yeah, I mean, I think everyone's kind of caught up to that viewpoint on it, but especially, 6, 8, 10 years ago, I think that was less the case. So, yeah.
And I'm blown away, Collin, by the quality of work that you guys do and the people that you work with. If everybody doesn't know, then they should know, and I think many of us do know. But I am particularly in the agency space. I am intrigued by how you have attracted and kept and continue to attract more of top tier talent. Anybody who's worked in an agency knows that, and you get really incredible people, and you got to keep them there as long as you can. And the temptation is always, man, this guy's a rock star, he's a superstar. In their mind, if they know, oh, I'm a rock star and a superstar, the question starts coming like, maybe I could step out and do this myself, But man, you've got a roster over there, Phil and Jake especially, but I know it goes beyond that. Man, how have you been able to attract and keep this incredible talent, putting out, long diatribes on, the latest inside of the ads manager and such?
I pay them a shitload of money and then I get out of the way. I mean, that's kind of the math there. Like, ultimately, I think people don't want to be micromanaged and they want to make money. And so I'm like, great, well, do a great job and you can do whatever the hell you want. And I'm going to pay you a lot of money. And that's it. I think Phil ran his own agency before, which was also relatively big. I think Jake obviously has had an agency in the past. I think especially people who've had agencies understand that it can be a pretty thankless job, and the last person to get paid is you. Sometimes you just want to, work on your golf game and get paid almost as much as you'd get running an agency. So
that's totally fair.
I'm not here to micromanage, and Jake, kind of the newest Infinity Stone that I've collected here.
That's a great way to say that too. He is like, was he at Huckberry before?
Yeah, he was Huckberry's head of growth. Yeah.
Well, that's
Unbelievable grab.
that's a good grab. That's a good resume. It's a great resume.
Incredible. There. Yeah. And he just does cracked out stuff all the time. And I'm just great. Tell me what you need. Tell me what money you need. And I mean, to be honest, I didn't even run him through a hiring process. He's like, hey, I want to work for you. I said, great. Write a number down and tell him what the job is you want to do, and I'll sign it. And that's exactly what happens.
Wow. Refreshing approach, Collin.
Yeah, what a refreshing baller approach. Could you talk a little bit more?
Team, you don't quibble over the details. You sign the contracts.
That's a very refreshing approach.
Yeah, that's fair. Could you talk about this framework that you have where I think it's called Heroes, Sidekicks, Zombies, and Villains? Could you unpack this framework for us?
Oh man. And to be fair, I am not the originator of this. I think this has been around for a pretty long time. So yeah, I mean it's a shopping structure on Google. And to be honest, it's like relatively simple and can get more complex from there. But and I think a lot of DTC brands run into this, and you notice I'm going on tangents, is that they assume that Google's bidding algorithms are as smart as Meta's, and that's just not true at all. Like you go broad, dump everything in an ad set, like let the algorithm decide. It works pretty well on Meta. It works terribly on Google, and so you really do need to have some degree of smart segmentation to tell it where it needs to go. And that's essentially what it is just breaking up your SKUs into 4 different categories, letting your heroes, right, your best performing 10% get their own budget and their own targets, the stuff that maybe like your next 30% get its own budget as well. And then you have the stuff that never gets any traffic, which is for some SKU libraries, 80%.
Yeah.
We'll have SKU libraries where it's 10,000 SKUs and 10 of them get 70% of the spend, right? That dramatic, and they're all just bunched up together. And you literally, by pulling them out, you can like double the amount of budget that goes to those 10 SKUs. And then there's stuff that just performs like dog shit. You just give it a really high target, and hopefully avoid having to get rid of SKUs entirely.
Yeah.
Collin, I find this interesting. I'm so largely meta coded,
Oh my gosh.
I really
this guy
feel
loves it.
I really feel that there's a ton of our game that I don't know, simply because and just this that you said right there, that's totally new for me. It's totally new for me. What else are you seeing in 2026 or over the past 12 months or so that is changing, evolving, that you feel like more of our community should know or be aware of and is not? Does anything come to mind that you feel like is a trend of note worth underscoring, some sauce for us, etc., that more people should know that we don't?
Yeah, I mean, people finally are not sleeping on YouTube anymore, so that's great. I mean, I've been crowing about YouTube for I don't know how many years, and probably to my detriment because CPMs will start to go up. But
that's true. That's true.
It's the most mispriced inventory in digital. It always has been, and the challenge has always been it's hard to measure. But now holdout testing is pretty affordable, and Meta is getting so expensive that people are looking for new places to put large amounts of money, and YouTube is a great spot for it. I mean, we'll spend at least 50, maybe 75 million this year on YouTube, and it's great. It's some of the most incremental, digital spend you can have. Interesting stat: there's 34 million people you can reach on YouTube that you can't reach anywhere else in the US.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
34 million people that aren't on Meta, aren't on TikTok, aren't on Snap, aren't on Instagram. They're just on YouTube. The only place you can reach is on YouTube. Yeah.
Wow.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that is.
I'm particularly kind of intrigued about what more might come from YouTube in this route with Google's announcement about Universal Cart, which unfortunately, the one and only Phil Winkle told us that, whatever's going to practically come from that is going to take a long time for anybody to be able to put into place. But the promise of being able to, allow people to check out right then and there when they see an ad on YouTube, etc. That hyped me up because I agree with you. There's a lot more juice there than I have given credence to the potential squeeze. And I find the stat that you've given us fascinating. Universal card excites me about the future of YouTube, especially.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's always in the execution, right? And Google has had many failed executions over the years, so we'll see how it works. I mean, I'm also somewhat skeptical because YouTube is primarily a television platform. I mean, 60-ish%. I mean, it keeps going up every year is on TVs, right?
On the TV.
So, that's how most people watch, and so it's not a click-based platform. Generally, you're not going to be rushing to take your phone out to scan a QR code. Usually it's an interrupt on what you're doing. It's not just like a mindless scrolling experience. So we'll see. But I mean, it's going to be the majority of their ad revenue. I think I said this 3 years ago, or it's like before the end of the decade, the majority of Google's ad revenue will come for YouTube. And I think I'm feeling still pretty confident about that call. Yeah.
Collin, after 16 plus years in paid search, what is one thing about Google Ads that's gotten better? And then on the flip side of that, what is one thing that's potentially gotten worse?
So, I mean, I guess I answer that in one answer, and what's gotten better? And the answer is nothing. Nothing's gotten better.
What's gotten worse?
Everything.
Oh my gosh.
The costs, the dark patterns, like
my gosh.
Nothing's gotten better. The UI's gotten worse and clunkier. No, I don't think anything's gotten better. Yeah.
Well, should we close up shop here, Collin? Should we all just close our laptops? No, I'm kidding.
Ginny's gonna.
Oh, we lost him.
He's back. He's back.
That's what happens. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you speak poorly of Google. They start.
They got upset.
Yeah. Don't invite the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah, don't invite the Eye of Sauron. That's exactly right. Man, tell me about I know that you guys, I would imagine, man, you've got a ton of people that are talking to you all the time. I'm sure you've got a wait list, etc. Who are there? Is there like a lower limit to where like somebody would be in business, revenue wise or size wise? Is there like a lower limit? They were like, you really need to be over this hurdle before we take you on, etc. Is there something like that in your general framework, Collin?
For us as an agency?
Yeah.
I mean, they really need to be spending over $100,000 a month at this point.
Okay.
And it goes up every year, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the luxury of growing and scaling is, you start working with bigger brands, which admittedly a lot easier. Like a lot easier. A $15 million brand is a lot easier to work with than a $3 million brand.
Yeah. So let's say they're spending $100,000 per month. $100,000 per month is what you said, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
$100,000 per month. Okay. So they're gonna spend a little bit over $1 million this year in ad spend. They're coming to you and they're like, hey, Collin, you're the smartest. We're the typical D2C brand. Most of our budget's going over here to Meta, but we're just, we're not so excited about our performance there anymore. It's kind of taking a nosedive. What's the first thing you're going to tell them? Hey, if you've got more cash to go with me, you're the typical brand. Are you going to say like, hey, we need to experiment with YouTube? Or are you going to say like, probably Phil's got some sauce here for you to help you, crack your actual net new reach on Meta? What do you think you're going to end up saying?
I mean, it's vertical dependent too, but usually I think they should keep figuring that out. I think Meta is the easier place to figure out, and also the one that scales faster generally, right? You're not going to take a Google account and go from generally speaking, right, from 50,000 a month to 500,000 a month unless you've got the rest of your business really figured out, and you can push a lot of that through YouTube, or you're in just like a massive TAM. It's typically, right, more incremental growth. Like you find a couple great winners on Meta through using partnership ads, right? And you can go 1,000 a day, 5,000 a day, 10,000 a day over like 2 weeks. And that is much less common on Google than it is on Meta in my experience. So,
well, comforting that there's still something there to figure out. Comforting. Go ahead, Collin.
I was just gonna say I'd love to talk about it because I think we briefly touched on it. But could you talk to us about what it was like actually running for mayor of New York City?
I would like to know this. I would like to know.
The greatest city on the planet. I feel like we really just casually brushed over it. And
I wanted to get more out of it.
I mean, I've never run for mayor of honestly anything. I've never run for my school, my school,
school president.
I didn't run for anything. You ran for mayor of the largest city in the United States. What was that like? Just what was that experience like?
Eye-opening, and how the sausage gets made in the political system.
Yeah.
So it was honestly pretty depressing. To be completely truthful with you guys, just seeing how candidates get picked and how the selection process happens. It was some dark shit. It was really not. It was scary because it still is backroom deals, and I'm sure again there are people who get around that, like our current mayor who just caught fire. Right? I guess I wasn't a big enough Knicks fan, otherwise maybe I would have won. But yeah, no, it was. I mean, it was a good experience. It was a great learning experience. You learn how to talk to people really well when you got to approach people and ask for signatures on the street. Yeah. You don't take rejection personally after having 1,000, 2,000 people walk past you and tell you to go fuck yourself when you put a clipboard in front of them. Hopefully I can say the F word on here.
Yeah, you can.
But yeah, no, it was a great experience. That's how I met my now fiance. So we'll take it. I won in a different way, but
you did.
There you go.
You did. You won in a different way. Collin, the outcome here with the Knicks, is it going to be Knicks in 5, or what do you think it's going to be? Knicks in 6? What's your
I expect it's 5, but who knows? The refs are doing some Buffalo Wild Wings shit, so we'll see. It's like the Adam Silver is doing the call, and Buffalo Wild Wings is going crazy. So
I'm hopeful. I always like it when things go to Game 7 just because it's exciting. Not that I'm an anti-Knicks, proponent, nor am I really a pro Spurs. I grew up outside of Dallas, but I kind of hope things linger on a little bit just for the excitement for the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, New York City's going to melt down if they win. So
they are.
I mean, it already is every game. I mean, last night you could feel the houses vibrate. So it was wild. So
well, Collin, man, we appreciate you making the time to join us, man. If there are a few big fish out there that still need to be working with you guys and talking with you, man, where do people find you, follow you, start that conversation, all of those things? Where should they go and find you, my man?
Well, you can find me here on X, CJ Slattery. I'm active there, and both personal and professional. Much to my growth team's disappointment, I do share non-professional content on there. And then, if you want the sanitized version, you can just find me on LinkedIn. And I'm wearing a almost as aggressive sport coat in that photo. So
let's go.
It's hard to miss me.
Let's go. I've heard you wear a suit. You wear a sport coat on camera, and Sam Altman comes and buys you. That's what I've heard, which we are open to, Sam Altman. I would like to say.
You got my number, and Google, if you want to buy my silence, I'm happy to sign that gag order. Just gotta come with a checkbook. My silence can be bought.
A couple $1 billion later,
but it can be bought.
Collin's on a yacht. we're fine.
That's right. Colin's on a yacht. Colin, we
If you never
appreciate
see
you
me
making
on
the
social
time, man.
media, you'll know exactly what happened.
We'll know what happened. Google came by. Google came by and made that check. And perhaps you'll be in the
Absolutely.
Bahamas forevermore after
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Who knows?
You guys can come down onto the boat.
All right.
go.
All right. We'll do that. We appreciate you making the time, brother. Look forward to
Amazing.
having
Thanks,
you back,
guys.
man. Thank you.